Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Nikki with Blue Farm, and today we are doing a talk on food storage and prepping.
Yes.
And as of right now, we are greeted with our awesome guest, Jack, the ADHD gardener. Let's go ahead and bring her up.
What's going on, peoples?
Hey,
hello,
what's up,
hello.
What's
Yes.
up?
Courtney
Yeah,
I
I brought this. I brought it up because I was wondering. I was like, because you guys have a homestead, or you really have this whole. You already do a lot of this stuff naturally,
Yeah.
as it is, as a part of homesteading. So I was just wondering, like, what's your take on what's like, or maybe the urgency, or are you prepping any more? Are you stocking up more? Are you growing more in possible preparation for some crap that may go down?
I think honestly, I'm more trying to get us to that point than she is. I mean, she's not as worried about it as I am, I don't think, but I am. I'm watching what's going on. I'm seeing what's happening, and I don't like what I'm seeing.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to be reliant on grocery stores. I don't want to be reliant on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I want to be as far off the grid and be able to be self-sufficient as possible before shit hits the fan, so that when shit hits, I don't have to worry about it.
Music to my ears.
I can take care of my family.
Right.
So
exactly. That's how it is. My boyfriend is totally not thinking about any of this stuff at all, but he goes with my flow. So I'm the one that plans and watches the news, the trends, worlding. I mean, I look from global. I follow, this is a few channels that I watch that are just all about watching the food shortage, watching the economics of just what's going on that will impact our food or anything that has to do with us being self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Like even with the killing off all the thousands of birds. So there's a lot of people that can't have or won't be able to find chicks or chickens to raise for their own.
Yeah.
So it's just like a bunch of stuff that I'm always watching, and I'm like, you know what? This doesn't sit well with me at all. I don't whether it happens or it doesn't happen, which I firmly think some crap is really going to happen, but it's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen now. I'm thinking future, like next year or toward the winter time, because right now this is growing season. This is growing season for everyone around the world.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, well, if some places or some countries are not, how will it impact us, trickling down and, down the pipeline? And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to take my chances. I'm don't want to,
No, I get it. I get it completely. And that's kind of the reason we did what we did when we were living in Arizona before we actually made the move to do the homesteading. Was I was, even then, this was almost 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And 3 years ago, I'm like, we need to start doing something so that we have a way to take care of ourselves, and we need to get out of here. And the nice part about where I live is not only do I have on where I live, I have stuff that I can take care of my family, but within a 1 mile radius of my house, I can go hunting, I can go fishing, I can go clamming, crabbing, mussling. I mean, you name it, and I can do all of that within a mile of my house.
Right.
So I have food sources very close to where I am. So if I need something, I can go out and get it.
Right. So, that's great, because I'm in the borough, so technically I have a bunch of homes near me. But if I was to go drive literally just 5 minutes away, and bam, I'm in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Like I can go walk to the creek, and it's an offshoot of the Delaware River. So I'm like, okay, I got a food source. There's fishing sources right there. It's even a water source.
Yep.
Everything's there. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I may not have a large farm, like, cause I only have a decent sized backyard, but at least I have resources close to me where if anything happens, I mean, there's more than just the supermarket meats, which is why I want to get into rabbits this year, hopefully too.
Oh.
I know. I have chickens already. I still haven't ordered my meat birds, but then again, there's been a lot of talk that you can't even order any meat birds anymore from a lot of these hatcheries. Yeah, there's a few hatcheries
I didn't know that.
Yes,
when you had mentioned the flu that was going around, I don't watch the news. I have no idea what's going on in the world because it scares me, and I just focus on what impacts me in my home in the moment. You know what I mean? Me and my family. I don't need to be worrying about the world's problems. it's too overwhelming. I got enough of my own problems to worry about everybody else's.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't even know that there was a bird flu going around.
Well, it's the avian flu now. Of course, there's talks in it whether it's real or is it like just made up and pushed by the government. But either way, regardless, I mean, it is a real thing. But whether or not it will impact us personally, I don't know, not so much. But if you're, buying from hatcheries, like I know, for example, there was one hatchery in Iowa or Idaho, I forget which one, McMurray's. I think one of them tested positive for the avian flu already. So I think a lot of these hatcheries are placing holds on just, from people buying them. So it's like, okay, now everyone's almost in a panic because now it's like, okay, how am I going to raise some meat for the summertime if I can't get any chicks?
They're going to have to focus more locally. Like there's
all about local.
Yeah. Last year, no, it was the year before we had gotten meat chickens. They were some kind of red. I don't think that they were Rhode Island Reds, but they were some kind of meat bird. And those things were awesome. We grew them in 10 weeks?
Yeah. Well, we had, and that was the batch of them that we had that was actually decent because the one before that we had issues with. We had gotten stuff shipped and there was a lot of sickness and stuff with the birds that were
That
shipped.
was Murray McMurray. And we had gotten jumbo Cornish crosses.
Jumbo Cornish crosses, yeah. And then the last batch of meat birds that we did, we decided not to do them again because we raised them up and almost 80% of them ended up having tumors and like all sorts of like medical issues. One of them wouldn't walk on one leg. So like one leg was bigger than the other one. And
we just had issues with the last meat birds.
Yeah. That we got. So we're actually, what we are actually doing is we're just getting a few meat egg layers and then we're going to be doing incubation and hatching our own eggs anyways. So
yes, me too. I literally just bought that a week ago, an incubator, because I was like, okay, if I can't buy any chicks now, let me just start breeding the ones that I have now, and then maybe they may not be for food because they're so tiny, but I get the egg production constantly, and then that could be a bartering thing. Like you want eggs, you can give baby chicks, sell baby chicks.
Let's talk about incubation for a minute. But first, I want to say, hey, what's up, LP? Thanks for listening while you're doing your seeds indoors. Hey, Courtney, love you, girl. Thanks for being here.
And yes, you guys are very much alike.
Yes, we are.
Very much alike.
Courtney, you are more than welcome to come up if you're free. I know you guys got a lot going on the weekends. Huga Homestead, thank you so much for being here.
What's up, Huga?
Oh, I can't wait to have a homestead one day, guys.
And Diggs Outdoors.
What's up,
hey,
buddy?
Thanks for being here. But speaking of incubators, we got
Bates,
one a couple months ago.
Coming in, listening.
Yes, thank you, Kathy Bates. We just hadn't scrolled down enough.
We haven't got that far yet.
Idaho Garden Girl, thank you for being here. Speaking of incubators, so my friend Courtney, my good girl Courtney, she is going to be mailing me some. What kind of turkeys are they? Royal Palm turkeys? I don't know.
You're the one that's...
She's going to be mailing me some turkey eggs. I am so excited. It's either the eggs or the babies. I don't know which one it is, but she's going to be mailing me out some turkeys.
I've never incubated any baby eggs. I mean, any chick eggs or anything like that yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I haven't. So
We tried
going to be all about learning.
Yeah, we tried once with a broken thermostat. It was missing its thermostat. So we had to do like an internal thermometer that wasn't like set up for it. And we didn't hatch anything out of that batch. And we ended up getting rid of that incubator. It was like $40. We got it on Craigslist and we just passed it along to somebody else that knew how to use one without the thingy, with the inside one. So we gifted that away. Actually, I traded it for a goat, if that makes sense.
Hey, that sounds like a worthwhile trade. I'll take a goat.
Yeah, we did trade it for a goat, Molly, actually. And I'm so excited for Courtney to send me out those eggs. Yeah, she just verified in chat. She's sending me out eggs.
That is awesome. I wanted to raise a turkey, but I don't eat turkey. I was trying to raise it for my dad, but nobody wanted turkey.
Her turkeys are beautiful. Like, we have turkeys already. We have 3 turkeys, a male, 2 females.
Oh, and
they're like the coolest. Our male follows us around. He like changes from blue to red and back again, and you whistle at him and he'll gobble at you. It's the cutest thing.
Oh, that's cute.
But they're black. They're like black heritage turkeys or something. And the ones that we're getting from Wide Family are the Royal Palms. They're white with like a black stripe on the males on their tail. Beautiful birds.
Oh, those are nice. I mean, I wouldn't mind raising one just because. I don't know. I like the animals. I don't mind it, but I'm gonna try to go for rabbits this year, only because being that if you guys only have a backyard and you're limited on space, then rabbits is a great thing, great meat source to raise because it doesn't require a lot of space.
Absolutely.
So it's win-win. And plus I get fertilizer, cold fertilizer I can put directly in the garden. I mean, it's a win-win situation right there.
It is. So 2 years ago, we tried rabbits, okay?
Yeah.
We tried raising them so that we could do the whole meat rabbit thing. We even brought them from Arizona up to Washington with us when we moved. Like, that was a nightmare also.
Really?
They were in the cages in the back of the car. It smelled. It was just, never do it. Just buy rabbits when you get wherever you're moving to.
Right.
We even brought chickens. That's silly. But anyway, so the point is we failed at rabbits when we first got here because the cages we had them in didn't have bottoms. It was open bottom. So they dug out and then they were just out in front of our house. And then our neighbor's dog came on our property and ate them.
Oh, man. Yeah, I heard a lot about that. You have to be really careful as to what kind of cage you put them in because they will dig out. They're like escape artists. Next thing you know, they're either just doing what rabbits do. We all know, bumping uglies, or just escaping and getting into some mess. So that's why I have my dad, because my dad is always floating in and out of my videos on my channel.
Yep.
And we're always talking. I was like, Dad, you build stuff. How about you build me a little hutch, a rabbit hutch? I'm not good at all these, the schematics and drawing up plans. So that's all him. So I'm hoping by July I would have my hutch set up and everything, and then find me some rabbits. So let's see how that goes. I don't know.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, why not? I just want to be prepared just in case.
We did recently invest in 4 rabbits, a male and 3 females. We currently have the male by himself and then the 3 females together.
Yeah.
We got a free hutch yesterday.
Ooh, I love those. Free.
I know. Can't beat free.
I love free.
So our plan is to actually like move them in rabbit tractors, like the wire cages, but like putting a metal roof on them and then putting sides around them so that the wind doesn't get them. You know what I mean? But we want to move our rabbits on the grass out front is our plan.
That's not bad. But now depending if you leave the tractor, I guess, or wherever you're going to pull them in the same spot for too long of a time, they're going to try to dig out.
Well, the cages have wire bottoms, so it'll be like a metal cage that you move on the grass so that they can get fresh grass, but it'll be the wire bottom and they can't dig out. So that'll be nice. That's
awesome, because actually next week I'm in the process of editing the video, but my dad built a mobile tractor, but for chickens. Oh, because my sister's starting this farm thing going on. She has the acreage. She's got like 5 acres, but she has no idea what to do about farming. She wants to raise chickens. And I said, all right, well, you don't have anything set up. We're going to need a little portable tractor that you can just roll around. Yeah. And he built that, and it's just right off the ground, off, metal and the whole thing. I said, oh, that's pretty nifty. But with rabbits, it must be even easier, especially if you have the space. Yeah, that's a great idea. I don't have the space. I'm only in the backyard to be doing that. So. Yeah, but even in like permanent cages, like a permanent structure kind of a cage where it's not movable, that's still fine. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to put it right off of the chicken coop. So it's going to be the chicken coop and then the rabbits on the side. So I'm hoping it'll work out. Like I'm not saying I would want to use them for meat, but best believe I will do it. I sure will. Everybody's like, "Ooh, I want to try rabbit meat," and I'm like, "All right, well, we shall see." But I don't want to wait until some shit hits the fan And then now I'm scurrying around looking for a meat source. I'm looking for meats or looking for anything.
Would
So I
you
wanna do
ever
that.
be interested in getting into quail?
I wouldn't mind. I don't see why not. I mean,
Because they're smaller, they give you tons of eggs, and you have an incubator. You can, be breeding your quail. It's very quick for them to get raised up to eating age. I think it's like,
wow,
I'm guessing because I don't have the facts in front of me, but it's like 8 to 10 weeks or something like that before you can eat them.
that's not bad.
I know.
I wouldn't mind. I've heard a lot of people talk about quail. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. First of all, White Family Farm. You talking about drinking? Oh man, you're talking my language right now. It's 3:46 in the afternoon, New York time. So I'm over here like, oh, drinking on a Saturday. That sounds great. Whew,
Doesn't
right.
it?
Focus. That's awesome.
Hey, what's
man.
up, WTF Mike? Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, why not?
And
all right, drink a shot
Jay's
for me,
making
guys.
food for the kids right now, so he is here. He walked away from the laptop for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, just food
man.
for you? Okay. Are you a kid? Okay.
I'm a kid at heart. I don't want to grow old.
Right.
Either way, let's see. What else am I doing? I'm also gonna try to work on water collection. That would be really awesome. I have tons of gutters from my home, so I want to be able to properly store it. Not only for the garden when I need to, but for whatever. I don't know. I mean, who doesn't want a water source? I mean, if you live close to one, that's awesome. Then you won't have to be as panic stricken, or if anything happens, then that's cool. But why not just collect water, even if it is just for your garden or for your plants or whatnot? So
right.
I'm working on that too. I'm going for the big IBC totes.
You and my husband are like, you know what I mean? Because he last week said we need to invest in some of those big water totes, the IBC totes, which I don't think he called it that, but he's like those big water storage collection totes.
They look like square.
Yes. He's like, we need to invest in those and start storing water. Granted, we're on a well, but we don't own the well. The city owns the well, but it's $51 a month for unlimited water. We can leave our hose running, which we won't. But like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
I could fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool and still pay $51 a month.
Yeah, we could fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool and still only pay $51 a month.
That is great.
But at the same time, what happens? What happens when that water gets cut off?
Exactly. What happens? And that's the problem that I always had, is that someone else has the power to cut you off at any given time if they feel like it. If you don't pay a bill, they cut you off. Yeah. If they decide to conserve water, cut you off. And there's like, now what? Now we're all asked out because y'all decide to, govern all of us? Like, no. That's not cool. So it's always good to have a backup. I mean, when in doubt, I don't know. I mean, not saying you may need it or use it, because you have that great access to $51 a month.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's great. But like, I don't even want to look at my water bill. Is terrible every month. It's just awful. So if any way I can reduce my water bill in general, it would be awesome for me.
Right.
But I'm waiting for my funds to come in until I get that moon dot so I can make this all happen. Right now, these are all pipe dreams for until another month so I get my tax return. And then I have the money.
It really kind of pisses me off because I know they're good for my health. Indoor Arrow Garden. That's awesome. And
I did a few videos on an Arrow Garden. Yes, I love the Arrow Garden. It does help out pretty good. I wish that it went kind of larger, even larger than what they had already, but then that can get pricey. But that's okay. You can make your own.
Right. But what I was going to say, LP, is I did my second to last video was that's not me. The second to last video I did was what was it? It was soil bag mini greenhouses where I'm trying to grow salad greens in like a soil bag with like a tote upside down.
To hold in the heat.
A clear tote. Yeah. So it's like a mini greenhouse.
Yeah, I call it a Rubbermaid greenhouse.
My husband.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Especially when like the greenhouse plastic is expensive.
Yep.
is expensive. So you get creative. I love the outside of the box thinking. Exactly. If it's clear plastic tote, perfect opportunity to use that.
Right.
That's great.
Cajun
Ooh,
Hydroponics. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Tammy. Thanks for coming in.
Hydro. I do like hydroponics. I work on that mainly in the wintertime because I get bored in the wintertime. I'm like,
I've never tried to grow that way.
Hydroponics? It's pretty cool. I like it. I still have to get used to the pH balance and trying to get the water calibration right. That's where I'm still having issues with it. But so far, like if I was to turn this computer around, I'm staring at a lot of tomato plants that are in hydro currently from a few months ago when I did videos on them. I'm still growing in here. It's not bad. And especially in the wintertime, if you don't really have it, I mean, you have animals, so you're always kind of doing something. But if you have a backyard and you can't really do anything in the wintertime, especially if you're up north, why not grow inside of your house?
Right.
And that's awesome.
Speaking of growing inside the house, I know I told you on multiple platforms this morning, but I let an entire seed tray of tomatoes die.
I feel you. My gosh, mine was peppers. Peppers and broccoli. Pow. Just awful.
I will not let my cosmic cultivators peppers die, although out of like the 12 plants I had, 2 of them did shrivel up and die, but they were like big and they all got watered at the same time. It's not like they didn't get water. The rest are doing good, but 2 just shriveled up and died. Yep. And I'm like, I don't get it.
I would have to check it out and look at it, but there's a few, like I just did that video that I just dropped this morning, like, because there's multiple reasons as to why you would have, the seedling failure. And I keep looking at it and I'm like, man, what is it? What is it? Over the years. And I'm like, okay, I can save them. I can save some of them if I'm looking for the right thing. I'm like, you're going to bounce back, but it's very hard, especially if you have ADHD or any other executive function issues. It's kind of hard to pay attention to that when you also have a lot of stuff going around in your life, personal life. I mean, you can get crazy, especially if you got kids. It's hard. It's really hard to keep track and focus.
I walk past my plants multiple times a day and keep going, they need water. They need water.
Me too.
I'm going to do it later before I go to bed. And then my husband goes to bed and then I'm like, shit, I can't be in the bathroom filling up the water with the light on. And then I got to walk around him and then I got to, no. So it's just like, oh, I'll do it first thing in the morning. And then the next morning you're like, oh, I got to do this and this. And then you forget. So
I have like a great hack for that. I don't know if that's maybe a good one or not good one, but like for indoors, I have a bunch of gallon water jugs that I keep hanging around. So I'll fill them all up, but I'll leave them on the counter. Every time I have to go upstairs to use the bathroom or something, I'll bring a jug with me. And I repeat that multiple times a day, but I leave the water jugs on the kitchen counter, like obvious. Yeah. Like real obvious. Like I would need to move the water just so I can get to my counter. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something. So every time I look at it or I have to go upstairs, I bring one with me. And eventually throughout the day, all of the waters make it upstairs. And then I'm like, okay, we're going to water. But it's hard. But I have just that system. Like I can't. That's why, I mean, my poor boyfriend, he got used to me just having reminders everywhere. And he's like, why are you leaving this out? And I'm like, because it reminds me. Out of sight, out of mind. So if you're not aware, if you visually see a cue going, oh yeah, that's right, reminder, then you're not going to remember to come back to it. Or when you do remember to come back to it, it's like at the worst times. Like 11 o'clock at night. And you're like, oh man, honey, I'm ready to go to bed. Like, I'm not. I got to water my plants. I'm sorry. Oops.
Right?
What's up, Bourbon Bounty? How you doing, Jody? Thanks for popping in.
Hey, Jody. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Trial and error, but, plant death, it happens a lot.
But, yeah.
I have a bad habit when I go to the feed store when it's chick season.
I love it.
Pick up a couple of chicks here, a couple chicks next time. Right now we have 12 chicks in our brooder.
What do you do with all these eggs? Because I'm swimming in eggs and I only have 8 hens. I mean, I have eggs.
Are you really? Okay. What blows my mind, and I don't know if it's like this for everybody that has a ton of chickens, but when we first started, we had like 22 chickens and they were older. They weren't like young, fresh layers. They were rehome chickens. And we got out of the 22, like 12 eggs a day. So it's not like they lay every single day. They lay like kind of every 27 hours or something like that. So it's not quite every day.
Really?
But yeah. So the more and more chickens you get, like the less you get. It's weird. I don't know if that makes sense, because it doesn't make sense to me.
I've heard of that before. I've heard of that, but that hasn't happened to me. But then again, maybe I only have 8 chickens, so I can literally go in there and count. And being that I know what the eggs look like for each chicken, it's like, all right, I know who didn't lay today. Culprit, and then
that's easy when you have a little amount.
Yeah. What's up, Dustin? How you doing, buddy?
I mean, ideally, I would love more. I would love more, but I don't, for such a small space. And then again, 8 eggs a day. It's like, okay, I can only eat for so many eggs.
Right. But do you have dogs?
I do. I have 2 dogs. I give some eggs to my dogs.
Yeah.
Yes. I feed the eggs right back to the chickens. I'll crack them open, and then I'll give them that too. And I'm hoping to try to start selling them, but it's a little tricky in Pennsylvania. But we shall see how it goes. I don't really know. I love them though. They're so cute.
I tried talking my husband into getting 2 free guinea chicks off of Craigslist the other day.
Didn't happen. No.
We already have 2 guineas, and they're the most annoying birds on the planet.
Aren't they noisy?
Oh my Lord. They will not shut up. And they like to fly over the house and go behind the back fence where all of our dogs are and drive my dogs crazy all damn day.
Yes, they do.
They'll go back there and make noise, and the dogs will just freak out.
Because the dogs can see them and they want to eat them.
Yep.
I can see that. I cannot. I would just threaten that chicken like, listen, you will go into my stew pot if you keep acting up. But that's one thing. Like my dog in the beginning, because I have 2 of them, but one of them is a half border collie. So he has this need to herd. And I'm like, in the beginning, he would bite and kill the chickens. And I'm like, whoa, no, you need to not bite. Don't kill them. But now he rounds them up. If I see something like they're flying in my garden or they're flying all over the place, he'll round them up for me. And then he won't, it looks like he's biting, but he doesn't chomp down. He's just kind of like pretending or imitating biting them. Yeah. I'm looking at him like, you're not biting down, right? No. So he's good to go. But I mean, that was pretty awesome. I feel bad that he's only in the backyard for now, but it's great to have one of those, like a herding dog. Oh my gosh. Right. And he's only half breed and he just does it naturally. Like, okay, cool.
Hey, Passamaquoddy, thanks for coming in. Digs Outdoors said, guineas or feathered footballs.
Yeah.
Strange. Strange flavor. I can understand that. I mean, I always wondered about like it's funny how they mentioned the strange chicken flavor or strange flavor in general. When I raised my meat birds, I really had a tough time dealing with the flavor or maybe the texture of the legs.
Oh, really?
It was firm because mine free range, so they kind of like did whatever they wanted. And they were so firm and like tough. I said, "Oh no, I can't." The breast part of it was perfectly fine, but the legs, they were so tough. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to eat this." So I didn't know what to. Some people enjoyed the flavor of that. I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna try again. Maybe see something or try something different. Maybe kill them off like a week or 2 earlier, so they're a little more tender.
Yeah, what week did you process them? Do you remember?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What week? Like at what week?
Oh,
did you process them? 8. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe just going like a week off, like a week 7 or something. Even that 1 week alone can make a big difference.
Huh?
And it is. So I was like, okay. And also, I'm not gonna let them. Well, they free range, but they're so heavy that they really didn't go far anyway.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, maybe I'm just gonna kill them off a week earlier, and then maybe the texture will be a little bit different. Anybody ever had that problem? No one has a problem with the texture of a meat bird that free ranges? No?
The only meat bird that we had a problem with was the Was it the barred rocks? They were like 8 months old. We processed them and it was like stringy. It was like they were
Really?
old ass chickens we were trying to eat, but they were only 6 months old.
And they weren't really.
Wow.
Yeah,
They
they
got-
were mean, and
Yeah, they
we
got mean.
processed them
They got
because they
aggressive.
were just aggressive.
Mhm.
Even the hens were aggressive.
Yeah, they were attacking other chickens.
Yeah.
Oh no, they would go straight to my dogs. Like, go ahead, no,
Yeah.
no, you were going.
Exactly what happened.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? In the beginning, I had a lot of people say, "Oh, you're so cruel to animals. You don't need meat to survive." And I'm like, I don't care. You could do whatever you want, but I will still continue to eat meat. I just do this because I like to know where my food source came from.
Yes.
That's what I want to know. I mean, I'm still going to eat meat. You don't have to eat meat if you don't want to, but at least I'm doing it more sustainably. And also just, I know what I'm feeding my animals.
Yes.
So I know what I'm eating.
Mhm.
And that's what makes me happy about it. I mean, you know, like to eat
knowing
their own,
not
but
being disconnected from your food source.
And that's
knowing
what
where
these
your
people
food comes from.
Exactly. And they're like, "Oh, you're going to kill all these animals." And I'm like, you have no idea the concept of food. You can go to the supermarket with no problem and just get food in a package already wrapped up because you didn't have to kill it yourself. You didn't have to raise it yourself. You don't know how to gut any of this. You are so disconnected from where your food comes from and how the process goes that it's like, it just doesn't fly with me. I want to know where my food comes from. All of it. If I can help it.
Yeah. Oh, Rebel Canners. She is like the go-to person for canning.
Pressure cook it.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about that. My grandma does that. She's I think it was old school Puerto Rican, where she has a pressure cooker and she would go out on the farm and just go grab her chicken and it would be in the pressure. I'm gonna try that. Thank you. Pressure cook it.
I heard that you could take older chickens, like ones that you're having issues with, that just wouldn't be good if you just cooked it and like baked it.
Yeah.
That if you take them and throw them in like an instant pot, they come out awesome. Yeah.
I'm about to try that this year when I start raising these meat birds. If I can find them.
Right.
If I can find them. That's another thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to find them right now, but we shall see. I'm hoping. I'm sure I can. Canning food is easy. I love canning food if I can help it. I got to find more jars.
Tammy, Rebel Canners, was actually helping me on a private one day find a pressure canner.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, because really the one that I found was a sterilizer, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy this, and she's like, no, honey, that's the wrong thing. You need to look for this one. So she absolutely saved my butt. I would have bought the wrong thing.
I love canning. I just had to find the jars, but you know what? I'm doing a lot of this myself, so I don't even have the time to make this all happen. But at the same time, I find the time. My bags under my eyes are saying, Jackie, you need more sleep and rest. But I don't like that. I need a new canner too, so I'm hoping to get that also because I got to can all my tomatoes.
Right. Last year we just ate fresh. We didn't grow enough to really do much with it. It was our first year growing at our new house, and we didn't have raised beds. We were growing out of containers or grow bags or whatever. And then this year, though, our focus is definitely on food preservation. So I'm going to be binge watching Rebel Canners videos, trying to figure out how to preserve my food, short of freezing it and vacuum sealing it.
Yeah.
And
dehydrating. I have a dehydrator as well.
I need a dehydrator.
Those are fantastic. Really, you can do a lot with a dehydrator, especially with tomatoes. If you grow enough of them, you could dehydrate tomatoes. You can make your own like tomato powder.
Yeah.
To season. Like it's fantastic. In dried herbs, you can do a lot with a dehydrator. So that's awesome. Pressure canning, the dehydrator, awesome. And what else would anyone advise?
Food saver. A food saver.
Oh, the vacuum seal. The
vacuum sealer.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's another one. I don't have that one either. That one's going to be a good one.
We had one for like 3 years under the cupboard, never used it. I pulled it out. I used it once and now I'm addicted. I can't stop. And we bought one of those sous vide things.
Oh, those are so cool. Dude, I would love that.
That
tender ass meat.
Yes. It is my favorite way to cook now.
That is nice. I always
Yeah.
saw one of those. My sister has one, and I'm like, oh, I want to take it. I want to try it. I've only seen like chefs use it. I never
Right.
had it on my own. But that's not a bad idea.
Kathy Bates, she says you better learn the old ways. You will need to know that stuff, and that's true.
Absolutely, yes. I was raised old school. I mean, I'm from this generation, but my family's very old school, and not only that, they come from another country that didn't have a lot of resources.
Right.
So they had to do everything old school, from collection of water to raising your own. If you didn't grow it, you didn't need it, because there was no money to have any of these things.
The extras, the fancy stuff.
Yeah, my grandma taught me how to make charcoal, how to make ovens, and how to cook outdoors, because that's how she had to cook outdoors. So if they cut my gas off, it's like, okay, cut it off. Cut off my lights. That's all good. I'll go build a stove outside and come up with something. But it's not taught like that nowadays, because everyone is relying on these large companies to do all the work for them.
Right.
The disconnect again. And they're like, oh, that won't happen. We don't need to know. And it's like, okay, you're too reliant on, these man-made conveniences, which are cool. Don't get me wrong. We all love them. But what happens if we're stripped from that? Or what happens if something disastrous or whatever happens, and then can you be able to survive, at least buy yourself some more time? So that's a great, that's so true. Believable, man.
And it says you can get an immersion cooker, a sealer, and a 12-quart bucket for a sous vide.
Nice.
Sous vide without spending an arm and a leg. That's true. Yeah.
All right. I'm doing that with
Mike learned how to use his on YouTube.
What? Oh, sous vide. You got a sous vide cooker. Oh, nice. Okay.
He said you can do the same thing in your dishwasher.
Oh, I've seen videos where people have cooked out of a dishwasher. Yes,
oh, geez.
I'm over here like, I have. It was on Extreme Cheapskates. Like people that were like ridiculously frugal. And I'm like, I get the concept, but I don't know. But that was a good, interesting point about that.
What temperature does a dishwasher even get up to know if you are cooking your food right?
I don't even know what the bare minimum is. That's a good one. I don't know. I don't even own a dishwasher, so I'm still screwed on that part.
Just turn your sink on hot and let the water run on it. Same thing.
That works. So it's all about survival, man. This is why I like the homesteading community, man, because we're all like-minded in our goals of self-sustainability. That's what I enjoy, and that's where it's like, oh, I'll get there. One day. Yeah. Man, these are my husband.
Sorry. He keeps trying to talk me out of goats. He wants me to rehome my goats because he wants to focus on pigs.
Ooh, pigs. Ooh.
But
I like
not
I also like goats.
Pigs. Oh, yeah.
What?
Not just any kind of pigs. We want to invest in the old spots. It's like Gloucestershire or something.
The large
ones. Yeah, those are like great homestead pigs. They're not like a lard pig, and they take like 7 months to grow for market weight. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, so it's a fast growing pig, and they weigh like, I don't know,
hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
They're huge. I would like a lard. Wait. Okay. It's interesting that you said that. There's a difference between a lard pig and an other kind of meat pig.
Yeah, so like a Mangalitsa, the curly-haired pigs.
They have a lot of fat.
They are like high-fat pigs. They're kind of like charcuterie pigs. How do you say that?
Charcuterie pigs? No, I don't know.
Yes, that word.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't say that word.
But they're really good too, though, if you think about it, though, because they do have a lot of lard, and you can actually save the lard. You can use the fat for cooking and all sorts of stuff. So there is a benefit to having a lard pig, basically, or a pig that has a higher fat content.
Yeah.
But what we're looking more for is meat content. We're looking for more meat, more bang for our buck when it comes per pig. We did. What did we have before? We had. They were crosses. They weren't. What were the pigs that we processed before? They were
Kuni and Juliana.
Yeah, they were Kuni and Juliana.
And Kuni is a lard pig too.
Yeah, so we did. There was a lot. We lost a lot of weight to the fat, but I mean, like I said, there's benefits.
Right.
I mean, there's benefits that outweigh it. And the only reason that I'm trying to downsize our goats is that our goats they're not milk goats, they're not meat goats, they're miniature goats. Okay. And so they really don't do anything for us. You know what I mean? They're not giving us anything. Yeah. So
I can see that.
That's why I want to be like, look, we rehome them. If we want to do goats, that's fine. But let's get a breeder pair. Let's get a pair of goats, a male and a female, that we can breed, that we can have milk. We can get, all that kind of stuff from them. And then again, you can eat goat as well. You know what I mean?
That's very smart. I like that. I think that's a great idea. That's an awesome idea.
There's a lot of things that I want to do. I mean, as far as like getting back to the food preparation and food storage and stuff, one of the things that I actually want to figure out how to do is behind our house, we have a big hill on our property. And I want to actually have a dugout fridge. Which is basically
like a cellar?
Yes.
Like a cellar.
Yes.
Like it's not a bad idea.
Like a
root cellar.
In the side of the hill.
In the side of the hill, and dig it deep into the side of the hill so that I can preserve stuff. We can do, I can salt things, I can smoke things, and then we can also preserve things and have a cold box basically where I can put things that need a lower temperature. So
that is there's
a lot of things. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I'd like to do in order to get this property set up in order to be self-sustaining.
Right.
But yeah, we're getting into doing canning and things like that we can, preserve things for longer periods of time and stuff like that. So, but my whole thing is, what happens if the fridge goes out?
Right.
How am I going to keep stuff at temp? How am I going to not have things spoil? So that's why I'm trying to figure out ways that I can build something or have something that I can put things that need those lower temperatures in. So I don't lose the goat's milk that I'm getting. I don't lose the cheese that I'm making, stuff like that I can actually store and not have it go bad. So
that's a great advantage of take advantage of that hill and turn that into a root cellar. I've seen that, but for those who don't have a hill, like I don't have one. I've heard that you can actually dig a hole in the ground. I think a certain level. I'm not sure how far deep down.
Yeah,
but that can actually act as like a little mini cooler if you dig deep enough into the ground and you use like a metal trash can or something metal to just hold all your food inside of the ground. I have to do more research into it, but I wanted to dig. I have a metal trash can that if I bury into the ground, supposedly is supposed to keep and maintain like a decent temperature. The entire, not cold, but cool.
Right.
Or at least like make storage of some veggies and whatnot. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that idea of a root cellar. That's a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you look back in history, they had to come up with ways. They didn't have refrigerators. They didn't have these things that, that we have these common luxuries that we have nowadays. So they had to figure out how to, make their food last. And a lot of it was day to day. They would only milk the amount of milk they needed for that day from that cow. They wouldn't pull any more than they needed because they can go get more the next day. So a lot of it was day to day. You were going out and you're pulling the things out of your garden. You're pulling the
based
things
on what you need
and making what you need for that day. And then going out and doing it again so that you don't have a lot of that waste to worry about later. So
that is a great idea. And also look, 6 feet in North Dakota, depending on if you're gonna, that's not a bad idea. I like that. That is really good. Oh man, everyone is so like-minded. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
This, like I said, I'm trying to get prepared so that if something happens, I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm not stressing out about it.
And if Kathy Bates is still in chat, lady, you do have a link if you'd like to come up.
Yeah.
If you want to teach us the old ways of food preservation, or if you want to talk about anything, if you remember anything about your parents prepping back in the day on the farm. I don't know if they were preppers or not.
What I do want to try is obviously I don't have a cow or anything like that, but maybe buy a half of a cow or something. I want to get into drying or making jerky.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Yeah, that's another way of preserving it, salting it or making jerky out of it. I would love to try that out and see how that goes.
See, and that's the nice thing. I have a wood burning stove. I have a wood burning stove in my house, so if I have to cook, I have a wood burning stove. And then I also have a wood burning smoker as well that I can use. It's a smaller smoker, but I can use it for small chunks of meat that I can smoke myself, so I don't have to preserve the meat longer. So
yeah, I like that. I don't have a smoker. That'd be awesome.
I do have an electric one, but again, like I said, if you can't run the electric, that's the other thing that I'm actually looking into.
Generators
is solar powered generators.
Yeah.
Yo, me too. Exactly.
Yeah.
I said the same thing. I said, I would need a generator, but then everyone's going to be fighting for gas.
Yeah.
What if the gas, especially at these prices, what if it gets worse and all that? People are going to be fighting. They always fight for gas. And I don't want to worry about that. So solar is definitely a great way to go. I had a friend of mine show up, and he came to my house, and he showed it was just a little solar panel that was hooked up just to charge all of his TVs, his cell phones, and everything. I said, why can't we just do that in a large generator? Just enough to run a refrigerator or run a freezer or something like that. That is a great idea. Something to think about also. See? And
it looks like Guardian Prepping said for a nice alternative to jerky, look into, and I can't pronounce that word.
Biltong?
Biltong, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm about to Google that.
I just did. It says it's a form of dried cured meat that originated in southern African countries.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's
cool. I like that.
So it's a different way to dry and cure meat, basically, than smoking it or making jerky out of it. So
that's cool. We'll have to look into that. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, thanks.
Here's a picture of it. You can find it on Google if you want. There's a picture of what it looks like once it's done.
Okay. You know what? I've seen a lot of
it looks just like jerky.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of food shows where they go to other countries, and I've seen that. I like that. That's not a bad idea. I wonder how that's done. Now I'm curious. If you have a dehydrator, you can make jerky quick. That's also true. I didn't even think about that. I can make jerky out of a dehydrator.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not a bad idea. Is there such thing as chicken jerky? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't know.
That is a good question. I don't even know if that exists. Is that a thing or not? I don't know. Just throw that out there because I'm like, I only have chickens for now. Right? I love that.
Maybe if you cooked it first. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
I have no idea. I don't even know how that all works. I've just been buying books because, books are a great resource. I mean, I know everyone's all about the internet, and I'm with it, totally with it. But I like having something tangible. Yes. Because what if there is no electricity? What if the internet goes out temporarily? Something. I need something tangible in my hand as a resource.
Absolutely. So he thinks that same way. He just bought.
Yep.
What book did you just buy? That prepping book.
I just bought
I don't remember what the name of it was.
Anyway, he just bought some prepping book that was like, it wasn't what to do at the time of an emergency.
Yeah.
It was what to do to prepare ahead of time, long term.
Yeah.
So not a short term emergency preparing, but a long term preparing.
Right. Yeah, I think what you guys are doing and what you're really planning on is more of a long term.
Yeah.
Long term thing. Like, okay, everything's cool right now. But I also like how you both work. Is that you take care of the right now. How am I going to handle things now? And then you have someone else who's looking long term. So both of that knowledge. That's great. You can hit
absolutely
everything.
Right. Well, see, and that's another thing too. Like you were saying, tangible is that I'm having her I'm going online and I'm searching for how to find water sources. I'm searching for because I do a lot of foraging in the areas. Right here we have a lot of mushrooms and berries and things you can go forage. So I'm going to be printing off these foraging guides of what you can and can't eat. So I want things that are physical in my hand, like how to build a windmill, how to build certain things
me too.
Tangible in my hand. So because what happens if tomorrow you can't use Google?
Right.
What happens if tomorrow you can't search the internet to look for those blueprints or something that you want to build?
YouTube goes right.
I want to find them. I want to find them now and get them on paper so that I have a binder full of all these things so that shit hits the fan. I can be like, okay, now I know what I'm going to do.
Oh, and there, Jack Passamaquoddy said, I make beef jerky for my granddaughters and turkey and chicken jerky for my dogs.
Yeah, so chicken jerky for the dog.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. All right. I think my dogs will appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that I'm also trying to, look into and prep for. And I keep asking her is I'm like, okay, we're thinking about right now how we're going to take care of our family, right? How we're going to feed our family and stuff like that with the things we're doing, right? Okay. So then I posed the question to her. How are we going to feed the animals on our property?
I thought about that.
Because right now we go to the feed store and we buy feed and we buy hay and we do the things we need to do in order for that. So what happens if I can't go to the store to buy feed? How am I going to continue? You know what I mean? So we're trying to find ways that we can.
Do you know what I found yesterday?
Feed the animals on our property on our own without having to go to the store.
Do you know what I found yesterday?
No.
A pellet maker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
it was $1,000 though.
Yeah.
Oh. But then you have to grow the food in order to even turn it into a pellet. Like like depending on the animal, for example, like because I only have chickens. I mean, that's a lot of grain, and we all know if anyone's been watching, even outside sources, because I don't do mainstream news. But if you look outside sources, that grain is going to be really, really in short supply. And we all know if most animals' feeds are grain related. So I was thinking, how in the world can I feed a chicken and even rabbits when I get them if I can't find the feed? How am I going to feed them? What am I going to feed them? That's a great question to ask, especially if you don't have enough space, because maybe if you have the space, you can grow a whole little field or maybe 50 square foot area of just corn. That's something if you have the space.
Right.
Then how are we gonna make that happen?
Well, and the nice part about our property is we can let our chickens free range too. We do have a lot of, especially in the wintertime when it rains and stuff, we do have a lot of worm and things like that they will eat. So there is ways you can also use corn and stuff like that you can try to grow as well. You know what I mean? Instead of just like the normal grains you would try to grow on a farm. Well, we also have grass as well. And a lot of grass you can break down. If you let your grass grow high, you trim it down, you throw it into the grain compactor, and you can actually turn the grass into into pellets using just your green grass too.
Interesting.
Yeah. So because you think about it, goats and pigs. Pigs usually root for the roots underneath it. Like they're root animals. So they'll dig underneath the grass to get to the roots. But I mean, if you have cows or goats or anything that eats hay,
they're grazers.
Great. Yeah, exactly. So if you don't have enough of that, you can have a spot where you grow a lot of grass, you let it grow high, you trim it down, you turn it into grain pellets, and then let the grass regrow and keep doing that. Because they're already going to be eating that, so you can actually turn it into pellets to use for later. So the grass that's there, you can cut it, use it, store it so that it doesn't go bad, and then let it regrow instead of letting the grass die or have them eat it all the time.
That's not a bad idea. I like that idea. Damn.
Yes, LP. Wow. We have heard of the black
soldier flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And man, like even raising your own, like maybe not black soldier flies, but like mealworms, or you can grow a lot of that. Well, raise them, I guess, yourself for your animals. That's true too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I like this think tank.
All right, Jody, have a good night, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Bye, Jody.
He said I have to get prep for my short-term survival tonight.
Right.
Yeah, that's one thing I was always obsessed with. I was always obsessed with survival shows. Like I always wondered, and I was admired those that really just, had the fortitude and determination to just survive, to keep going and or challenging yourself, like a lot of us are capable. Many of us, if not all of us, are capable of doing a little bit more. And that's what I always liked. It's like, man, let's challenge yourself. Like how much can I go? Like how far could I push myself and see? This is great. Yeah. Oh, I love you guys' little community here. See? Yeah. Every time I come here, you'll make me want to go live and stuff. But then I'm like,
if you ever want to and you want to have somebody up, I'm offering. I will come hang out with you.
You guys are going to be, you'd be the first one I call if I ever get the balls to do it.
Right.
Let's just see if I can.
And if you ever want the experience of going live without actually going live, you can always be like, hey, want to do a private? We do those all the time. It's kind of like a backstage, just hang out, shoot the shit, whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about people watching you.
Oh, well, luckily I have no shame in my game. So I got no shame. So if I screw up and I'm like, oops, I screwed up. Sorry. At least I'm real. And things go wrong.
Oh, there's my aunt. Hi, Aunt Cindy. Love you.
Hello.
Hey, Cindy.
Oh, that's great. Oh, man. What do I have to do now? Let's see. I have so many seedlings to plant still. I still have to grow more plants. And more. I'm trying to figure out how many. Well, there's a lot of people who have like homesteads and farms and stuff.
Yeah.
Does anyone have like just a lonely old little backyard, or is it just me? Anybody?
In Arizona, I had a lonely little backyard with one tiny little growing bed. It was my first year ever growing anything. And let me tell you, I didn't kill everything. Some stuff actually grew.
Yeah, we got carrots and cauliflower
and sweet potatoes. I actually did my own slips and they grew and it was cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like I'm trying to see if I can convert my front lawn into like a victory garden.
That would be cool.
I that's what I said. But then I was like, I don't know, because my dad owns the house that I'm in. So I'm like, I ran it past him. I said, Dad, how do you feel if I just rip up my entire front lawn and put a garden right in front of the house? He goes, "Why? You have a huge backyard. You don't need to rip up the front lawn." And I'm like, really though? Really? I'm setting an example.
Like, is it that big? Really? Like, come on.
It's not.
If more people had a front, I'm sure a lot of people have front yards, but if more people would take advantage of their front yards and actually dip their toe in growing their own food, if enough people did it, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be.
There'd be less people relying on the stores.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they did in World War II. That's what they did in World War II. They promoted victory gardens. They promoted growing your own food, because if you have a war and they're shipping a bunch of people and soldiers out there, they got to feed them. So they're going to be taking our home supply, sending it overseas to feed these people. And what's going to happen to us? Food shortage. And then there goes a domino effect. So it's like, I don't see why not. Besides, I just find it like, that's like some good real estate. That's like where I got a lot of sun. So I'm, maybe I'll just throw a few plants up in there and see. Maybe I can hide some pepper and tomato plants all up in there in my front lawn. See what happens. Victory gardens all the way. Exactly. That's what I want to do. I wouldn't mind.
Yep.
Maybe. And maybe it'll inspire other people to do something, like, hey, Jackie's ripping up her front lawn. Maybe not the best aesthetically pleasing, but you know what? It's going to feed me.
Right. Right.
And
that's all that matters, and that's part of the reason that we did a lot of the videos that we do, or we're going to be doing, are about conserving space when you're gardening.
Yeah.
And the main reason we do that is, we have a big chunk of property, but a lot of our property is undeveloped. A lot of it's still woods. So we do have a very limited growing space, even though we do have a large chunk of property. And so we have to be very, very creative when it comes to how we plant, where we plant. We get very limited sun because we have trees on all the sides of our property.
Me too.
Yes.
So we get limited sun at certain spots. And so we try to figure out ways that we can grow in a smaller space or contain things in a smaller space.
Yeah.
And then we share that with people that live in apartments and live in, places that they want to be able to grow. The Rubbermaid greenhouses that we made, you can actually take those, put those on a back porch in an apartment, and you can stack them 3 or 4 high, and you can have your growing area up instead of out. So you
vertical gardening.
Space.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So,
yes.
There's a lot of things.
Right, exactly. I wish I would be able to grow veggies inside your apartment. You can grow veggies inside an apartment.
Yes.
Maybe not the yield of like a huge backyard or a farm, but I always say something's better than nothing.
Yes.
Something's better than nothing. And just like taking control of what you can. All right, I'm about to turn around my computer. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm just in one little bedroom. Not bedroom, this is my office. Dining room. I converted it. Let's see what happens. Remove all this. So I'm just turning it around, and all of that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
heck yeah.
And that's just my hydroponic setup. And that's all tomatoes. I mean, it's not a big setup, but again, something is better than nothing. And I tell you.
But that space you could grow enough for a couple people. You know
what I mean?
And if that's all you got to worry about is a couple people, that's enough space. You know what I mean?
Right. And on top of that, if you don't have the space, like you said, vertical, go up.
Yeah, go up.
Grow
exactly.
up. There's so many different ways of growing. I may concentrate on that too. That's another one. That's a good one. Really grow up. I mean, if you don't have the space, it's the way to do it. And a lot of it can be done through hydroponics. No soil involved, so even better for an apartment. Just saying out there. Yeah, because the soil brings bugs. So if you're in an apartment, you don't want bugs, hydroponics is the way to go.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with you there, Mike. Wood prices are ridiculous. I went looking for 4 pieces of wood. I needed 4 pieces of lumber to build a greenhouse that I was going to build. That's all I needed was 4 pieces, and those 4 pieces of wood were going to cost me $350.
That's insane. I'm afraid
they're almost $87, almost $87 a board.
So instead, we're going to be building it out of pallets.
Out of free pallets that I got.
I love
the
pallets.
Are going to be the
I love it.
Pallets
and
are
then the cattle panels.
I'm going to use cattle panels.
Yeah. And we already have the greenhouse plastic.
Yep. So
that sounds like
video will be
great project.
We're waiting for the weather to get a little better so that I can get that built.
Yes.
Had a lot of rain lately, and I don't like getting wet. So
I'm trying to figure out a way to cut all of my trees. Like my backyard is like 100 feet by. I mean, it's a pretty decent. I have a double backyard, better than most. Only problem is I'm surrounded by trees, so I gotta let it. I have a lot of shade, so that just kind of narrows down even how much veggies I can grow because I'm so limited on sun. I want to go around and just chop everybody's trees off.
Yeah, right.
Like go to my neighbors. Like, how do you feel about me? I'll pay for it. You just let me just chop your trees off.
See, I mean, and like Mike was saying, if I had the money right now with the amount of trees that I have on my property with lumber
you can
prices
build stuff
as high
with
as they are. Well, not only that, I mean, I probably just in the trees that I have in my property, I probably have close to $350,000 worth of lumber on my property. But the problem is that it's going to cost me almost $3,000 or $4,000 to have somebody come out, cut it down, mill it all out for me, and I don't have that kind of cash to do that. So it's like, I could get a lot out of it, but I don't have that initial $4,000 or $5,000 that I'm going to need to get it done to even start doing it. If I did, I would do it in a heartbeat because then I could turn around and sell natural lumber to people, and that's selling more per board than the pressure treated stuff is right now.
It is. I mean, there's a filter. Not a filter.
Jay doesn't like to get wet.
It's like a machine. It's like a machine that you can run the trees right through, and it debarks it and does all that work for you.
Yep.
I mean, cut out the middleman and see if you can.
Yeah, if I could afford to buy like a little lumber mill, a lumber mill on my own property, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
because I could take my own trees down and then just feed it through that, and then have my own lumber. So
I wonder if that would be expensive. But I mean, maybe that would just be the initial cost. Maybe it'll pay for itself in the future, given if you already have the trees and the sources to just make it. And maybe it'll just even out, and it won't even take you a long time to recoup your money. I don't know. Worth to find out how much it costs. Not bad.
Sorry, I'm reading Idaho Garden.
No, that's cool.
Thing.
When Gerald Ford was president, he started the WIN program, Whip Inflation Now. Neighbors were supposed to meet informally, like a block party, and brainstorm ideas. Families could
do the WIN.
Huh.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Not bad.
Actually did meet lots of ideas of carpooling, reusing stuff instead of buying new, having some.
Yeah. You know what? It takes a lot of people who have of the same or similar mindset.
Yeah.
I would, because not everyone has this mindset of like preparation or even just, we're not worrying because the ones who are not prepared are going to be the ones who are worrying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's to find those like-minded individuals, especially in my area, I would have to hunt those people down. Because,
right.
Right.
Well, and we reuse everything here.
Yep.
Yes.
Everything gets reused, recycled. I mean, if I see something on the side of the road that's free that somebody's getting rid of that I know I can use to plant in or do whatever, I'll snatch it up because I'd rather use it and bring it home and use it for something constructive. My dad built a fence at his house, and he had about 30 or 40 pieces of the end that he cut off the end of the boards. There's like 1.5 feet, maybe, sections of these fence boards. And he was just going to toss them out. And I said, no, I'll take them. I took all 30 of them, and I'm going to build raised garden beds with them.
Yep.
So they're real small little pieces of wood, but if I do it right and piece them together, I can get, a good 2 foot by 3 foot garden bed out of it. So,
what's funny about it is that because I do the same thing. If I see something, I'm like, ooh, I can use it. So my boyfriend's like, are you hoarding again? Are you grabbing a bunch of stuff and just not going to use it? I said, just because I'm not using it right away doesn't mean it can't be used. You know, like it's maybe not organized and it looks like a mess, but I can use it.
That's good enough. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it is. Like I used something that I haven't touched it in like 3 years. So he was looking at it like, can I throw this out? And I said, no, I don't know when I'm going to use it, but I know I can use it.
Yes.
I just got to figure out what to use it for. And then I wound up using it. I was like, oh yeah, it took me 3 years to figure something out, but I used it.
Yep.
That's how it is.
Oh, we are pallet wood hoarders as well.
I love that. I have 2 pallets just sitting back there, and my boyfriend's like, "What are you gonna do with this?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but it looks like good wood, so I'm gonna keep it."
You know what? You could arch them like this and grow cucumbers up them. Cucumber trellises. Just throw some chicken wire up and over so that they can grab on.
That's not a bad idea.
Cucumber trellises.
Wow, I have a lot of extra fencing too.
Chainsaw.
It's not a bad idea. Chainsaw and axe.
Interesting.
Right? Yep.
I know.
My husband just found a chainsaw mill for
it's not
$115. I don't know how much I'd want to be a part of a chainsaw mill, but
what is a chainsaw mill? I mean, I know what a chainsaw is, but a mill with that? What is that?
Like connect the chainsaw to it? Oh, that's cool.
The chainsaw goes in it. The chainsaw goes in it.
Oh, okay.
And it slides down the
Yes, it's like a portable, smaller version of a mill. Yes, that's a great idea. I have seen that. Okay.
But yeah, there are full mills on here. But yeah, you're looking. The cheapest one I found was $2,300. So almost $2,400 basically. So I mean that's not bad though. If you're thinking $2,400, you're going to invest in that. And then the amount of money you're going to get in lumber that you're going to mill, not only for yourself, but to sell. I mean, you'll make your money back real quick.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Especially, you know what? It's free wood. Free wood. I mean, I'll figure out a way how to chop it down and debark it. It's just that it takes so much time away from something else.
Yep.
And that's where the free help or any help is just so awesome.
Yeah.
Because doing a lot of this by yourself, it's just... It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to do. So I feel bad, but not bad. When I rope in my boyfriend, I'm like, can you build this? Can you fix this? And it's like, I know you didn't want to do it, but it's for the benefit of both of us.
Blowtorch.
So, you know.
King Poobah, he says blowtorch. How will you dry your lumber, Jay?
No, basically what's going to have to happen is it's going to have to be cut down. It's going to have to sit. It's going to have to season for a season before I could actually chop it up into logs because it will have to dry before I cut it.
Yeah.
So that's the only way I can think about doing it without a kiln.
Yeah, there's a I think a wood mill or whatever around here that I buy, chunks of wood for projects, and they don't have a kiln either. They just have it stored up. And they would just leave it for like a year or two. And they won't touch it. And that's just how they would dry their wood. I mean, it takes a lot longer, but it's free.
Yep.
Just a long way. Yes, I like that. People who refuse to learn to help themselves may wake up too late. Go ahead, Idaho Garden Girl.
Yep.
Exactly. You're gonna wake up when it's too late, and it's like, I get looked at like I'm crazy. Like, why are you always worried about?
And the problem is nowadays is that you have a generation that wants everything handed to them, doesn't want to work for what they're getting. They want things handed to them.
Yes. They got to be easy.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for that information. Now I have to Google shit. Thanks for giving me more shit I got to spend money on, Dustin.
That's great.
I'm like, damn it, now I need one of those. Hold on, I gotta go find one. Hold on.
That sounds great. Does anyone know about a solar generator? Anyone else?
Now I gotta search Amazon.
I want to build an outdoor oven. Anyone got ideas on that one? I would love to build an outdoor oven.
An outdoor oven, like a brick oven?
Yeah, some sort of outdoor oven.
Actually, it's actually fairly simple to do. To be honest with you,
like
I've actually seen people when I'm delivering, I'm working. I come up to their house and they've actually taken those cement cinder blocks and they built like a small, half or 3/4 of a rectangle. So it had an open face on it. Yeah. And then they would put solid blocks all the way across the top. and then they would actually put regular red bricks, and they would build a little oven with enough spot for like a pizza to go. This little mini pizza oven that they had outside. And they would literally just throw the wood underneath it, heat it up, heat the concrete up, and the concrete itself would heat up the top of it. And that's how they milled it.
Yeah, I like that.
It looked super simple. I'm like, man, I want to build one of those one day just so I can say I have one. You know what I mean? It looked really
just to put it on YouTube. No,
yeah, my friend she showed me that she made a rocket stove out of cinder blocks and all that. But I don't remember where I was reading it, where if you were to make an outdoor oven using certain bricks over other ones, because some of them can like explode or pop, or I'm not sure where I've heard that. That's true.
I don't know, but that's scary.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, if it was there's a certain type of concrete or brick to make these outdoor things. Because I was just thinking, hey, use cinder blocks or bricks, but I wasn't sure if that was like the proper material to even make one of them. But still an option.
Material for that.
For what?
For building
cast iron Dutch oven and ARPA fire. Yes, I have a lot of cast irons.
Yeah,
pots, pans galore.
Pop, crack,
I'm all about open fire. That's cool.
I mean,
but that's why I'm thinking about an oven.
I mean, the only other thing you could do, I mean, you could use clay to kind of pack it in there too, as well, to kind of seal up the
cracks. Yeah,
seal in the cracks. But then the only other option other than that would be like a metal type surface, basically, or stone. I mean, if you were able to get stone that was, you could form, like, if you get like not stalactites, what I'm talking about, like shale rock that's like those big, thick, thin, but they're really thick. Yeah, and those will heat up evenly as well.
Ooh.
Start 3D printing bricks for your greenhouse. Yeah.
Oh my God, 3D printer.
To get some metal print. Do that.
I would love a 3D printer also. Man, a 3D printer.
That's what that is.
That's what that is right there. I'm printing.
That's awesome.
Guess what he's printing me?
I would show what I printed, but I can't show it. A skull
planter.
You can do all of this. See, how affordable is one of those? I want one of those 3D printers. Actually, I would make a bunch of stuff.
For the printer that I got, and for the printer and 3 spools of filament, it cost me less than $250.
Yeah,
that's it. And how that's awesome, because there's another channel that there is a hydroponics channel, and they would make their own end caps and make all these creations just for their hydroponics. I'm like, that's a great idea.
Yep.
Yeah,
man. I'd show you what I just finished making, but I can't show it on this channel. So
just show it. I don't care. Here, let me.
Hey, that's
make you bigger. Is that how you do it?
I feel you.
How do you do it?
That.
Hold on.
That is great.
It's like Denver Broncos bong.
Yep.
I like that.
Took it a day and a half to print because I had issues with my filament halfway through. So
yeah,
that is cool. Print like that. It's not bad.
Funny.
I am feeling it.
But yeah, that's the thing with 3D printing though, is it's like it can get to a point where, I mean, there are ways that you can do like wood and metal. They are a little bit harder because you do have to get a little bit hotter when it comes to the heat that you're using for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could literally reprint anything. If I need a new door hinge, I could reprint a door hinge. I could reprint a doorknob. I could print. I mean, you name it, I can print it.
Yeah.
So, if something breaks, I need something new, I can print it myself. I don't need to go buy it. I can print it. So that's why I want to get a bigger printer that actually has a conveyor belt so that I can make bigger and longer projects and make them all one piece.
Right.
So, because right now with mine, it's so small that if I want to do a bigger project, I'm doing it in sections, and then I'm connecting those sections together with glue or Bondo or whatever.
Right.
To finish
but it comes larger. So if you wanted to make larger things.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. See, it's just everything's so darn expensive.
All right, Mike. Thanks for coming in, bud. Have a great day, man.
Thank you, Mike.
Bye.
That guy's got a lot of knowledge too when it comes to stuff.
Oh yeah.
Not only 3D printing, but a lot of other stuff too.
Well, Mike does horses, I believe, right?
I'm not sure.
I know Mike does something with big animals. I don't mean he does things with them. That's not where I was going. That's not what I meant.
Oh man,
that's hilarious.
Oh, I like these. Everyone should just be living close quarters. Like, these are the people like this. Everyone around here, like-minded. This is the community that I would like.
Hell yeah.
We're
the chill community, as I've been told. Hey, Raptor Ranch, thanks for coming in. It's your first time here. Welcome.
Northern
welcome.
Wisconsin.
What's up, Raptor Ranch? How we doing? Thanks for popping in.
Yeah.
We are discussing food prepping and storage and things like that in lieu of all the craziness going on in the world. Trying to make sure that everybody has a little bit of knowledge to know kind of how to prepare things and what to do and stuff like that.
And alternates for it. Like, what if your fridge goes out? You need a cold box outside. Just kind of thinking outside the box. I'd love Kathy Bates to come up here and cattle. They raise cattle, not horses.
No, with horses.
Thanks for sticking around, Mike, to hear my weird.
I want to raise a cow. I got to remember the word to raise the cow.
Like that. Cows are fun. We raised a couple bottle calves. We got them when they were like a week old. We brought them home. One we butchered, one we traded for a dog.
I like
a Great Dane puppy.
Oh, they're so cute and they're tall. I love them. I love large dogs. I don't.
Yeah, he was an AKC papered pit. That's the only reason why we did it.
Not pit, Great Dane.
Or Great Dane. Yeah, that's the only reason why we did it. So, but our property is the area that we had. It was too small for the cows that we had. I mean, we made it work. We had to
grain feed it. Yeah, we had to feed it hay.
Yeah, there was no pasture for them. We didn't have pasture for them. And so our piece of property we figured out is not very conducive to having big animals like a cow or something like that. Yeah. Now, if the top part of my property was cleared off, that's another story because I'd have enough room to have a pasture and stuff like that. But currently, no. We don't have. That's why I want to get back into pigs because they're smaller. What did she say? We have livestock on our farm. We didn't do our animals. Yeah.
Oh, Kathy, I love you.
I think he does stuff with horses. Oh God. Oh, you're never gonna live that one down.
No, I say the dumbest shit. Oh, TVMA's not up. It needs to be up from my mouth.
Raptor Ranch is still shoveling snow from a snowstorm. That sucks.
Yeah,
man.
We're out of that. You want this one?
Yeah. There we go.
Like that. Oh, what?
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. I've been really nice. I usually have a dirty mouth, filthy mouth, or rated R. There we go. Language. Yes.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying my best to,
Yeah, I was raised in a Navy house with sailors, so I always say I have the mouth of a sailor.
Yeah, so, I'm trying to curb my language. And let's see how that goes.
I'm trying to too, because I'm starting to realize that my 5-year-old's starting to pay attention to it now, and it's like, and the other day I said shit
at school.
I said shit the other day, and he goes, "You cuss," and I'm like, "Damn it!" I'm like, "All right." Now I gotta watch.
I gotta work on them.
Yeah. So I'm trying to watch what I'm saying as well, because he's starting to pick it up. So what did Dig say?
On a serious note, probably one of the most overlooked preps is books.
Yep.
Books. Yep. Yes, knowledge is power.
That's what I'm saying.
Copies.
That's and not only books, but that's why I want to go online to all these informative websites that have all these information on, how to build a windmill, how to build certain things that I might need for power in the future that could be used, because we get a lot of wind up here. So there's just stupid things like that.
Yeah, a wind turbine, or even making something like that.
Yeah, but the thing is that pretty soon, I also rode bulls. The bulls didn't ride me. Oh man, Kathy, get up here.
I can get. Oh, you guys are my people. So look at that. You get a little perverts. I love it.
It's on Nikki,
man.
I'm gonna have to get the rumor mill rolling now after that.
Mike.
Everybody's gonna be like, "Hey, Mike. So I heard something the other day over at Blue Farm.
Do your animals."
I'm like, I heard you do stuff with horses. Oh man.
Oh, horses are nice.
That's awesome. If we're keeping you, just let me know. We're just hanging out.
Oh no, I'm good. I have to use the bathroom. So I'm just holding out, and I'm like,
go.
Go.
Oh my God.
No, I'll be all right. I got a few more minutes in me. I'm just thinking about what am I going to do when I get off of here. I'm trying to think of what are the other plans I'm coming up with. Have you noticed that you always got to constantly think of stuff. Like it's constant, like you're constantly working, worrying about your plants, worrying about your animals, worrying about the feed, worrying about the property, worrying about this. It's like sometimes it gets to be a lot, like a little overwhelming to be thinking about so much stuff. But at the same time, I love it. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Right.
So we're running into a problem right now where I can't start any more starts. All of my lights are covered. Like under my lights are covered by plants. I've ran out of lights to grow. So I need to take my big white light, my big grow light, and put it in our bathroom, and then put a board across our bathtub so I can put the plants in there, and then I can, under the purple lights, start new plants. Like I just need to move my stuff out. Yeah.
How's your weather outside right now? Like, what's your temperatures? Because I've run out of space here. Like one of my grow lights busted, and that was where I was housing a lot of my little seedlings, and I had no choice but to put them outside.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to because I was afraid of the cold. But depending on the weather and how low it drops, you can kind of pull it off. At least for during the day, you can bring them outside and then just bring them in for the nighttime. It's a lot of work, but I mean.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do when you don't have grow lights.
Our problem right now is that we're only hitting like, low 50s, like maybe 51, 52.
Yeah,
and
same.
At night, it's still getting down to like 34, 35 degrees at night. So you got to be really, really careful. What's up, Shaggy Girl?
That's true.
Hey, Shaggy Girl. And what is up with this? It looks like Mick T is watching, and it won't let him chat. That's not cool.
That sucks.
Awesome. Thank you, McT. I totally read your message. Hopefully you're still watching. Thank you. Thank you. We look forward to seeing that cane when it gets here.
Yes.
McT is an awesome subscriber, and he actually made a cane. He lives in the UK, and he made a cane for our roommate that's a disabled veteran.
That's nice. Do you do walking sticks? Like walking sticks too? I would love a walking stick. Those are awesome.
I'm not sure what he does. I know he does a lot of canes and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you could do a walking stick. It wouldn't be that far off for sure.
That'd be awesome. There are times where I
can't talk in chat. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know why he can't talk in chat, but I'll look into it, McT. I promise. I will double check my Nightbot or something.
Yeah, like I'm supposed, like every now and again, I'm supposed to be using a cane, but I don't use it because I'm stubborn like that. Because I have MS, so that's another reason why I want to get into this, because I want to grow good food instead of just buying chemically ridden. But I don't like canes because they just don't look the best. But so I always said if I was going to use one, I like a walking stick because that's something more my style. Because when I do a lot of walks and hikes and stuff with my dogs, I don't want to use a cane. I'm using a stick, like a walking stick. That's awesome. Anyway, my loves, I was great being on here. I do actually gotta go now.
Okay,
no, you're good.
Yeah,
so thank you for having me on. I can be here whenever, and whenever I decide to, grow the balls to jump on there and actually speak more, then I'm gonna give you guys a heads up.
Absolutely.
All right. Nice talking to everybody here. Peace out from the East Coast. Bye.
Bye. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. We're gonna shut it down here shortly.
Yeah, we're gonna shut it down. Thank you everybody for hanging out in chat. Thank you, Jack, so much for coming up and hanging out with us. We absolutely appreciate you.
Yes.
And everybody, thanks for giving us all those tips and tricks and books and everything.
Make sure you check out Jack's channel as well, ADHD Gardener. I want you to make sure you check her out as well.
All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks. Bye.
Have a great day, guys.